Let's take a look at red. So far, we've looked at white, blue, and black. And in my humble opinion, I think black looks the strongest so far, blue the weakest, unfortunately. Red, 51 cards. I believe blue and white both had 48. So a few more on red. So maybe blue and white and black had 48 also. So maybe they'll be better represented in multicolor cards. We'll see. First up, a braid. One red, one other instant. Choose one. A braid deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. Very strong. Probably in the running for best red common right off the bat, because not only is dealing 3 damage to a creature good, but destroying an artifact is going to be particularly good in this set. We've seen a ton of artifacts. We've seen a lot of artifacts in blue and white and a few in black, and they're not even the artifact heavy colors. So a braid is going to be very strong. And 3 damage is not actually, from what we've seen so far, 3 damage is not the amount you want. There's a lot of 4 toughness creatures, but it gets rid of a lot of things as well. So yeah, a braid is good. Probably in the running for top 5. Second up, Ancestor's Aid. 1 red, 1 other. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Create a treasure token. It's an artifact with sacrifice this artifact. I have 1 mana of any color. So it's okay. As a combat trick, it's fine. But and creating a treasure token is kind of stealthily probably what matters most here, because this helps you splash. I noticed this in Wilds of Eldraine. In Wilds of Eldraine draft, in my opinion, red was a lot better at helping you splash than it had been in a while. Flip a coin, Grabby Giant. These cards, usually when treasure tokens first came around, I feel like they felt more like an afterthought, but here they really help splash. So Ancestor's Aid is something that it's an okay combat trick, not amazing, but especially if you're trying to splash a 3rd color or something, then it might jump in ahead of another card when it normally wouldn't. Next up, we got Belligerent Yearling. 1 red, 1 other dinosaur creature. I believe the first dinosaur we've seen didn't have any white or blue or black dinosaurs, so they'll all be in red, green, I guess. Trample. Whenever another dinosaur enters, we had a blue dinosaur. The bad one. Whenever another dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Belligerent Yearling's base power become equal to that creature's power until end of turn. Oh, whenever another dinosaur enters the battlefield. Okay. Don't know how many dinosaurs are going to be, but wow, 3/2 for 2 mana is pretty pushed. I know even with power creep nowadays, maybe I'm naive, but a 3/2 trampler for 2 seems pretty good, and getting the power of other dinosaurs that come into play. I mean, dinosaurs tend to be pretty big, so it's going to be able to trample. Really good in aggro deck. Belligerent Yearling is probably going to be pretty strong. Bonehard Dracosaur. 2 red, 3 other creature dinosaur dragon. Mythic, it looks like. Flying, first strike. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exiled a land card this way, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exiled a non-land card this way, create a treasure token. Busted. You do this at the beginning of your upkeep each turn. Wow. This is really good. If this survives after the turn you play it, it's going to be hard for the other person to come back. First strike, hard to kill, 5 flying. Yeah, this is a bomb like you want mythics to be. Just when it comes down, if they don't have an immediate answer, it's going to be very hard for them to come back. All right, Brass Tunnel Grinder. 1 red, 2 other, rare, legendary artifact. When Brass Tunnel Grinder enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards +1. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, put a boar counter on Brass Tunnel Grinder. Then if there are 3 or more boar counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. Okay. Really helps you descend quickly, potentially. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended, put a boar counter. So just have to do, it takes 3 turns to transform. Really helps you descend quickly. So good for blue-black. Here's our second cave, or our third cave. So cave is going to be in black and red, but if I remember, they were all rares, so not very common. Add 1 red whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by Tecutlan. This set is going to be good for my South American pronunciation. The Searing Rift, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. Well, that's good. Yeah, it takes a little while to get this off. They have a couple turns to deal with the artifact. But they're going to want to deal with it. Yeah, I think, Brass Tunnel Grinder is great. Great rare. That's what you want. And it's splashable. Pretty easily splashable. Brazen Blade Master. Creature Orc Pirate. Is that looks like the O in Orc is stylized. Whenever Brazen Blade Master attacks while you control 2 or more artifacts, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn. So red is going to want artifacts. Isn't that already kind of... So I guess red-white is artifact aggro. I don't think it, based on what I've seen, I don't think it's going to be hard to have 2 artifacts in play. I mean, not as hard as normal. But 2/3 for 3, it's not the best, and it's only it's a 4/4 for 3 if whenever it's attacking. I mean, good in like red-white artifact aggro. Maybe blue-red can have a little bit of artifact aggro. Blue-red seems awkward so far. Breaches, Eager Pillager, 1 red, 2 other, a legendary creature, a goblin pirate. Love to see goblin pirates. Although it looks like a monkey pirate. First strike. Whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a treasure token. Target creature can't block this turn, or exile top card of your library you may play this turn. Choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Okay, so if you attack with up to 3 pirates, you get each one of these happening. You're going to want to stop them from blocking, and treasure token will probably be the last thing you do. But that's, good. I mean, big surprise. Red's aggro color. Good rare. That's kind of ugly. All right. Burning Sun Cavalry. 1 red, 1 other, 2/2. Human Knight. When Burning Sun Cavalry attacks or blocks while you control a dinosaur, Burning Sun Cavalry gets +1/+1. So red-green will be dinosaurs. Will be, I guess, its theme, most likely. Not great. Yeah, pretty bad, actually. I mean, a grizzly bear with an upside that is not that great and won't always go off. Dinosaurs tend to be expensive. So yeah, probably better 2-drops you want to play in red and whatever your other color is. Calamitous Cave-In, 1 red, 3 other sorcery. Calamitous Cave-In deals X damage to each creature and each planeswalker, where X is the number of caves you control plus the number of cave cards in your graveyard. Does X damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Okay, so board wipe sounds excellent, but there's a reason why this is a uncommon. We've only seen 3 caves so far. We are what? This is part 4. We've seen white, blue, black. White and blue had no caves. Black had 2 caves. So far, red has 1 cave. If it were easy to get caves and this to be high, it would not be an uncommon, or it would not only cost 4. So, yeah, I bet Calamitous Cave-In is going to be pretty weak and not make the cut most of the time. Maybe if you just get lucky and get a bunch of caves, but so far it's not looking like caves are going to be very reliable. Child of the Volcano, 1 red, 3 other, excellent art. Creature elemental 3/3. So this is its 4 cost 3/3. Seems like every color has a 4 cost 3/3. Trample at the beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, put a +1/+1 counter. So yeah, every color has a 1 color, a 4 cost, 3 colorless card that's a 3/3 that does something with descend, I believe. Pretty good common, actually. It's not hard to descend. It's going to keep growing each turn. I think it's pretty solid. I like it. 4 is quite a bit, and if red's being aggro, you're starting to get into the high end of what you want, but I think it's okay. If even red is a little slower, has some slower strategies, it's even better. I like it. Curator of the Sun's Creation, 1 red, 3 other, creature, human artificer, 3/3. Whenever you discover again for the same value. This ability triggers only once each turn. I mean, discover being a better Cascade, which still seems crazy for me to say. There's got to be something I'm missing about why discover is not as good as Cascade. I wish I had anyone in the chat that could tell me why I'm wrong. But discovering again seems really busted, actually. This is a card that obviously, this is a card that sometimes you're not going to get any discover and you cut this. And if you have to play it, you feel really bad. And then this is a card where you've got a lot of discover cards and it's awesome. It's really, really good. Daring Discovery costs 5, up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn. Discover 4. So yeah, in an aggro deck, this is a fine push through. But I mean, that's the dream, right? Curator's Son of Creation. Next turn, Daring Discovery, smack you, and I'm discovering for 4 twice. I mean, that's pretty brutal. Pretty brutally good, that is. But also, whenever you cast this and all it does really is get you a creature, it does not feel as good to do that for 5. You're basically just paying more for the same creature. So one of probably at most, and it's got to be an aggro deck. Diamond Pick Axe, 1 red, indestructible. That's nice. Destroy effects. Oh yeah, wait, I know what indestructible does. If you don't know what indestructible does, you haven't been playing Magic for a long time. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Equip 2. The indestructible helps it, I guess. But, Diamond Pickaxe, not great. I'm saying, though, if you're splashing a 3rd color, or who knows, a 4th color, if we really see that there's a lot of artifact fixers and stuff like that, then I want to play Diamond Pickaxe potentially. But no, I don't think it's that great. Dinotomaton. I like the way that sounds. Dinotomaton. 1 red, 3 other, artifact creature, dinosaur gnome. Dinosaur gnome artifact creature. That's very cool. Menace. When Dynatomaton enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains menace until end of turn. Okay, good aggro card to come down in 4/3. It's got menace. It's good. It's good. It's going to help you push through. Not bad. Not a bad card. Yeah. Next up, Dire Flail. 1 red, artifact equipment, rare. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. I don't think we've seen any, I don't think there was any equipment synergy in white. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Equip 1 craft with artifact. 2 red, 3 other. Dire Blunderbuss. Equipped creature gets +3/+1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact other than Dire Blunderbuss. When you do, this creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Eh. I mean, it's definitely aggressive, but I'm not convinced it's really stellar rare, to be honest. You play it in your aggro deck for sure, but I'm not convinced it's something. It's good, but it doesn't get me excited. Maybe it's just not my strategy. 1 red dowsing device. 1 red, 1 other. Whenever dowsing device or another artifact enters a battlefield under your control, up to 1 target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Then transform dowsing device if you control 4 more artifacts. Another cave. All right, cave number 4. Black and red have the caves. Add a red until end of turn. Target creature gains haste and gains +X, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Activate only as a sorcery. It's a little awkward because caves are black-red, but black doesn't have many artifacts. Blue and white do. I guess the red-white aggro deck is where this goes. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that good. Dreadmaw's Ire. 1 red. Until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample, and whenever this creature just deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact that player controls. Interesting combat trick. Don't think it's that good. +2/+2 just isn't really a lot, and at best you're probably trading. I mean, it might say save a creature, but I think it'll be one of those things like if you're lacking combat tricks or removal, you'll play it. But if you have other good removal or combat tricks, this is one of the ones you end up cutting. Enterprising Scallywag. 1 red, 1 other. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, create a treasure token. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, create a treasure token. Great for helping you splash. So red, a lot of treasure tokens. Those artifacts help you with things like this land, like this Geo Grotto. Okay. Treasure tokens are going to feel kind of useless when they're just sitting there not doing anything, though. Itali's Favor. 1 red, 2 other enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When Itali's Favor enters battlefield, discover 3. Cool. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. So you get a 2-drop, hopefully maybe a 1-drop to add to the battlefield, and your creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. And you feel really bad whenever they, in response, kill it with an instant, and the whole spell frizzles and you get nothing. So yeah, enchantment auras just aren't that great in limited. You're putting all your eggs in a basket. This helps that it's going to get something else, but it's still risky. Not great. And you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, Itali's favor, dud. Next up, Geological Appraiser, 2 red, 2 other, creature, human artificer. When Geological Appraiser enters the battlefield, if you cast it, discover 3. Okay. 3/2 is a really sad stat line. The 2 red is really sad. I'm going to say not great. Playable, but not great. Goblin, yeah, you cut this often, I think. We've already seen much better ways to use 4 mana that don't have the 2 red, I think. Goblin Tomb Raider. Where's Laura? 1 red. As long as you control an artifact, Goblin Tomb Raider gets +1/+0 and has haste. Easy to get. It will be easy to have artifacts as red with all these treasure tokens flying around, but you're not going to have them on turn 1, so the haste doesn't matter that much in that sense. It's still just a 2/2 at best. You want this in your super heavy aggro deck, that you're not even playing 5 drops, you're barely playing any 4 drops. Then you want this guy. But unless your deck is super aggressive, Goblin Tomb Raider is probably not going to do much for you. If your deck is super aggressive, it can be really annoying. Gold Fury Strider, 1 red, 4 other, artifact creature, Golem. Trample, tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. That's not good. I mean, I guess you can do it as many times as you want. That's cool. But you're tapping yourself down to do this. He has trample, so you can do it to him. But you're having to tap 4 other creatures or artifacts just to make him a 7/5. I guess with all the treasure tokens, so maybe you're going to want to be saving those treasure tokens to be doing stuff like this and pumping your guy. He's all right. If you're making a lot of treasure tokens in the right deck, he can be okay. But he's going to feel really bad if you don't have any treasure tokens. So Gold Fury Strider's power is directly correlated with how many treasure tokens you're making in the game. So you got to think about that. Probably want to be playing like 8 cards that make treasure tokens. If you have about 8 cards that make treasure tokens in your deck, then Gold Fury Strider makes the cut. If not, I don't know. Hit the Motherlode. I saw this previewed somewhere, but I didn't read the details. 3 red, 4 other, sorcery, discover 10. That's a big number. If the discover card's mana value is less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference. Very cool. Obviously helps Gold Fury Strider, like we just said. So I guess you hit the Motherlode, discover Gold Fury Strider, and then you get 5 other tokens. You attack with him once. He tramples for a lot, but he probably still dies because he only has 5 toughness. 3 red, 4 is not easy to cast. You don't know what you're going to get for discover 1. Sometimes you're going to hit the Motherlode, and then you pull out a Goblin Tomb Raider, and then you have 9 artifact treasure tokens, and you're just like, well, this sucks. So hit the Motherlode. I'm gonna go out on a limb here because I know a lot of people. It looks fun. It is fun. I enjoy fun, but I don't think it's good. Maybe if your deck is centered around having a lot of cheap artifacts to tap, to sacrifice, and do other things, then it gets better. But that 3 red still makes that narrow how often you'll be able to pull it off. Hit the Motherlode is not something that it is not one of those rares that you take first pack and you're like, all right, I know where I'm going. You still have to keep track of what you're drafting and be willing to say, I can't go with Hit the Motherlode. Hotfoot Gnome, 1 red, 2 other artifact creature. Haste, another target creature gains haste until end of turn. I like this, especially in an aggressive deck. The fact that it's an artifact creature I like, because it can do other things in addition to just giving haste. Stat line, though, the 1 toughness is very sad. It's okay. It's just okay. Next up, Idol of the Deep King. 1 red, 2 other artifact flash. When Idol of the Deep King enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Cool. Craft with artifact, 1 red, 2 other. When sovereigns, come on, Macaw Huitl, my best guess. When sovereigns Macaw Huitl enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. I mean, you play it because it's removal. 2 damage isn't a lot, though. It's okay. It's not great. I mean, 3 mana for 2 damage is below par. So far, it looks, I mean, white and black have the best removal. White might even have better removal than red so far. I mean, there's only 1 stellar red removal card we've seen so far. That's the first one. A Braid was very good, but other than that, it's just combat tricks. Interesting. Inti, Essential of the Sun. 1 red, 1 other, rare. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains trample until end of turn. It's okay. Discarding cards for that effect is actually not that good. Of course, filling your graveyard can be valuable so far we've seen in this limited format, but just for a +1/+1 counter is a bit much. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until your next turn. Okay, that's what makes up for it. Yeah, it's good. It's aggressive. It's legendary. Yeah, I like it. It's good, but it's you can definitely deal with it. And they can you attack with this and discard. It can definitely not be great. If what you reveal is a land and you play it, that's okay. But you want to be revealing spells. If you reveal something big and you can't play it, that feels kind of bad. But you still get the +1/+1 counter. I mean, it's a rare. It's good, but definitely not game breaking. All right. Next up, Magmatic Galleon. Definitely going to be a vehicle. 2 red, 3 other. Love the art. When Magmatic Galleon enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Cool. Whenever 1 or more creatures your opponent control are dealt excess non-combat damage, create a treasure token. So it's probably going to create a treasure token and kill something when it comes in. And it's got crew 2. Rare. Good. 5/5 is not that exciting, actually. But the removal is the name of the game here. It's a good card. 2 red, sad, but it's a good card. Ogre Axonal Deepest Might. 2 red, 2 other, trample. If a red source you control will deal an amount of non-combat damage less than Ogre Axonal's power to an opponent, that source deals damage equal to Axonal's power instead. Okay, so doesn't matter with Magmatic Galleon, doesn't matter with Idol of the Deep King, doesn't matter with Magmatic. It matters with Idol of the Deep King, which you probably don't want to play anyways. And it gives you 1 more damage for your Braid. So far, not like super exciting. 4/4. It is a mythic for 4. Oh, it's a god. Okay. When Ogre dies, return to transformed. Okay, so trample. Did I predict trample? No, I predicted I think I predicted haste for the god. For the red god. Honestly, I'm not that excited by this. There hasn't been good red burn so far we've seen. I mean, we're still halfway through red, so there may be more, but a 4/4 trample for 4 is actually not really that above rate anymore. Let's see what happened. I mean, transforming just brings it back, right? Land. Transform Temple of Power, activate only if red sources you control dealt 4 or more non-combat damage. Wow. This is definitely the weakest god, and I don't even think it's that strong. I mean, it's obviously not a bad card. A 4/4 Trampler for 4. Let's see, what was that? Yeah, 4/4 Trampler for 4 is pretty okay, but I think this is the weakest god we've seen. I don't think you're going to get a lot of. You don't get. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. If a red source you control would deal an amount of non-combat damage less than the power, that source to an opponent, so not even a creature. So just your non-combat damage deals 4, even if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's all it is, and to an opponent. I mean, it's not nothing, but compared to the black and the blue and the white, this is the weakest. I've not been that impressed with red. I think my ranking might go white. No, I'm sorry, not white. Black, white, and then I'm still not sure if red is better than blue. Panicked Altasaur. 1 red, 4 other. Reach. Panicked Altasaur deals 2 damage to each opponent. Okay, well, so I guess that's the combo. You play this turn 4, and then turn 5 you play this, and turn 6 you can deal 4 damage with Panicked Altasaur instead of 2. That's not that exciting. However, with that being said, looking at Panicked Altasaur, I think by itself it's actually pretty good. Common 4/5 for 5 is not bad. Has reach. We've seen there's a lot of flyers in blue and white and even black. This dealing 2 damage to each opponent at the end of turn can break stalemates, help your aggro deck, finish them off. Panicked Altasaur might be in the running for top 5 red commons. Maybe I'm being too ambitious. I know 5 can be a lot, but I think it's good. Plundering Pirate, 1 red, 2 other. Orc Pirate. When Plundering Pirate enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Okay, synergy, you like it, but you're cutting it if you got something better, which you could have something better for sure. Poetic Ingenuity, 1 red, 2 other enchantment, rare. Whenever 1 or more dinosaurs you control attack, create that many treasure tokens. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Situational. Green, red, probably good. Green, red, probably good, but I'm skeptical that it's that great. Rampaging Ceratops. 1 red, 4 other Rampaging Ceratops can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. So it's menace +1. Meh. It's okay. I'd still rather have Panicked Altasaur, to be honest. Rampaging Ceratops. Okay. Why does he get 2 treatments? Just a random uncommon gets a borderless. Seems weird. Maybe there's something, I don't know. Rumbling Rock Slide. 1 red, 3 other Rumbling Rock Slide deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. Okay, here's finally another red removal spell they seems underrepresented than it normally is. So it deals 4 on turn 4, 5 on turn 5. That's good. It's fine. It's not fantastic, but it's fine removal. Saheeli's Lattice. 1 red. Saheeli's Lettuce. 1 red, 1 other artifact. When Saheeli's Lettuce enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Craft with 1 or more dinosaurs. That's kind of niche. Creates artifact dinosaur. Power and depth is equal to the number of exile cards used to craft it. What? Okay, well, I mean, you can exile them from your graveyard, so... Wow, that's not good. I mean, I guess it replaces itself by drawing 2 cards and you discard 1. It's okay. It's okay, but it's not great. I'd prefer Wicked, whatever that Wicked Roll one was in red in Wilds of Eldraine. I think that's better than this. Scythe Claw Raptor. So did they just give borderless to all the dinosaurs? That's a little racist. Scythe Claw Raptor. 1 red, 2 other. Whenever a player casts a spell, if it's not their turn, Scythe Claw Raptor deals 4 damage to them. I mean, 4/3's much better stats than the other 3 costs we're usually seeing so far in this set. Dinosaur Synergy. I think he's good. I mean, keeping them 4 damage is a lot. Is a pretty big price to pay for casting an instant. You can't do that too many times, especially against an aggro deck, and live to tell the tale. I think Skyfall Raptor is very good. Seismic Monstrosaur. 2 red, 4 other. Trample. Creature Dinosaur 6/5. Mountain Cycling. Sacrifice land, draw a card. Maybe the best one of all of the land cycles we've seen so far. I like him a lot. Trample is very good. Can draw you cards late in the game. Seismic Monstrosaur might be top 5 red common. Sunfire Torch, 1 red, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks. You may sacrifice Sunfire Torch. When you do, this creature deals 2 damage to any target. Okay, so a shock on an equipment. So red has most of the equipment. I like this art of throwing that Sunfire Torch, sacrificing it. That's cool. That actually the art speaks to the card really, really well. You have to attack, though. Yeah, I think Sunfire Torch is okay, but it's usually a shock in some, like Seal of Removal, some sort of shock. Seal of Fire, I think was the red one from Nemesis. A version of a shock usually is pretty good in draft, and so I think this would still be okay, but I don't think it's as good as some of the others are. It's having to attack to sacrifice it and deal the damage is actually not very advantageous. Really limits what you can do with it. But in the aggro deck, you want it for sure. Maybe the white-red artifact aggro deck. Sunshot Militia, 1 red, 1 other. Human Soldier, tap 2 untap artifacts or creatures you control. Sunshot Militia deals 1 damage to each opponent. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, finish them off. Sunshot Militia. The 1/3 stat line is really glaringly bad, though, for this. I think he's bad. I think the Militia is bad. I'm sorry. I can still see you playing it as a 22 or a 23, but it's bad. Tectonic Hazard, 1 red. Tectonic Hazard deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. Definitely a card you want to pick up for a sideboard if you're playing best 2 of 3, because we've seen there's a lot of cheap 1/1 flyers that it would be nice to be able to get rid of before they overwhelm you. But also the aggro deck, if you're playing red, you're probably aggro and you'd rather just race them than waste time with this. It's not going to be great. It'll just be okay. Triumphant Chomp. 1 red sorcery. Triumphant Chomp deals damage to target creature equal to 2 or the greatest power among dinosaurs you control, whichever is greater. That's cool. Okay, this burn spell is nice. Triumphant Chomp's going to be really good. Now, it obviously is better the more dinosaurs you have, so it won't be amazing in every deck, but it will at least be good. 2 damage is okay for 1. That's fine. Wish it was an instant. That's okay. But like red-green, I think Triumphant Chomp's going to be a banger. Next up, Trumpeting Carnosaur. 2 red, 4. 7/6 rare. Trample. When Trumpeting Carnosaur enters the battlefield, discover 5. That's pretty big. Discard him. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. We haven't even seen a planeswalker in the set yet. He's very good. Yeah, the rare you want. You're gonna have a lot of tough decisions on if you should use him to remove something on turn 3 or 4. Really, I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes either by not doing it or doing it. But he's good. Could even splash. No. Volatile Wanderglyph. 1 red, 1 other artifact creature golem. Whenever Volatile Wanderglyph becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. He might be a sleeper because 2 for 2 isn't super great, but combined with black red deck, blue red deck, putting stuff in your graveyard, and he taps. He's an artifact creature, so you can use him for all those artifact synergies of tapping for other things. Volatile Wanderglyph, from what I've seen so far in the set, I think might be a sleeper, pretty good common. Zoyawa's Justice. 1 red, 1 other instant. The owner of target artifact or creature with mana value 1 or greater shuffles it into their library. Then that player discovers X, where X is the mana value. I don't like letting the other player discover. I don't like that at all. I mean, this is good to get rid of a god. So again, best 2 of 3, good sideboard card. They show a god, you bring it in. You're playing best of 1. I think it's okay to have a Zoyawa's Justice in there to be ready for a god or a bomb. Sounds okay to me. All right, I feel like we went through red a little bit quicker. The cards seem much more straightforward than the others. I still think black is the best. Probably white is second best, but red, probably white second best. Red is either third or fourth behind blue, so far from what I've seen. But there's still multicolor coming up. Next time in part 5, we'll go over green. Thank you for tuning in, if anyone does, and I'll see you next time.